Oh, wow. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Awesome. Let me recognize the presence of our guest of honor, the Vice President of the Republic of Zambia, represented by our Honorable Minister of Small Medium Enterprise Development, Honorable Elias Mubanga. Let us give him a round of applause. This is an exceptional man. The last time we met, it was at the Africa Must Think. Glad to meet you, my leader. Let me also recognize the presence of our Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, in the name Honorable Elvis Nkandu. This man is an exceptional man. He loves the youths, and we love him too. Yeah. And I see our permanent secretary there, Mr. Kangwa. We are proud of you. And let me recognize Pastor Cholwe, the UNDP representative. And indeed, every one of you, I recognize you this morning. With that said, I have been requested to give an Ignite talk, which is a short talk just to challenge us to relook at our lives under the theme Voices Amplified, Innovations Ignited. And I have titled my talk this morning, Engage Your Reticular Activating System. Engage your reticular activating system. Since we are youths, I would want us to say this. Engage your reticular activating system. RAS. Now the question will be, what is this reticular activating system? In your brainstem, there's a bunch of nerves. Now, these nerves are important for one reason. They are the connection between your senses and the brain. So what you see passes through the reticular activation system, then sent to the brain. Now, this reticular activation system is what determines what should go to the brain and that which should be blocked from going to the brain. So the reticular activation system works as a guard to the brain. Let me explain. Everything that you interact with as a person, what you see, what you hear, and what you touch, it is not all processed in the brain. What is processed in the brain must pass through the reticular activation system. The system decides, process this, don't process this. An example given. When a dog is charging to bite you, at that point the information goes to the reticular activation system. As it is processed, passed to the brain will say, run. All other information will be blocked. The only information that will pass through is that you need to survive, run. At that point, you won't look at the color of the grass. That information will be blocked by the reticular activation system. This information is useless. The information of the environment around, who is laughing, all that information will be blocked. At that point, the only information that will pass through the reticular activation system is run. You are about to be bitten by a dog. Now, this is the role of the reticular activation system. And in action, a research was done by Dr. Combas. And this research, they looked at people who live very close to the airport. Very close to the airport, and who had newborn babies. Now, close to the airport, there's a lot of noise. Planes taking off, planes landing. A lot of noise. But here's something interesting. When the planes are taking off, with all that noise, the parents would sleep peacefully amidst the noise. But the moment a baby makes a little noise, the parents wake up. Well, the noise for the plane, they can't hear it. They would still sleep peacefully. But the moment the baby makes a little they wake up. Why? It is for a simple reason. The reticular activation system learned that the noise for the planes is useless to the mother. So that noise is blocked by the reticular activation system. But the noise for the baby is important. So that noise passes through the guard of the reticular activation system and it goes to the brain. Then instantly, the mother wakes up. Are you getting what that means? So in a similar way, I'll give finally an example on myself. There was a time I decided to change a vehicle. And I thought of buying, many years back, I thought of buying the Range Rover. Now when I made that decision, say, hey, it would be nice to drive a Range Rover. The interesting thing is this. The moment I made that decision, every time I drove through the streets, I would see Range Rovers everywhere. Oh, that's a white one. No, that's a black one. No, I would see Range Rover. The vehicles I was not seeing earlier. Why? Because before then, the reticular activation system did not recognize Range Rovers. But the moment I made a decision, all of a sudden, I'm seeing Range Rovers everywhere. Everywhere in different colors. I would see them all the time. And in fact, it got to a point that every time I saw a Range Rover, I would say, that's a vehicle. Any other vehicle is just a means of transport. Nothing serious. Why? Because to me, the reticular activation system told me that the Range Rover is what is important. Now, why have I shared all this with you? I would want you to re-engage your reticular activation system. I would want you to make a decision today on that which is important to you and that which is not important to you. The things that you put importance to will pass through this reticular activation system and they'll be processed by the brain. What am I putting across? I want you to make 4 decisions quickly. Number 1, engage your reticular activating system on social media. Engage your reticular activation system on what? Social media. I would want you to make a decision today that you will only pay attention on social media to information which is important. Be deliberate about that. Set the system to only allow things that are important. The challenge that we seem to have as youths is this. We pass irrelevant information, nonsense, all the drama, it passes through the reticular activating system, and that is identified to be important. And that is why as young people, we spend so much time on drama. Who has insulted who? Who has responded to who? Who has undressed where? We spend so much time on things we should not spend time on. As such, I challenge you to be deliberate, to re-engage your reticular activating system today, to only focus on things that are relevant. Things that are relevant are the ones that are going to position you to become a better person. Let us not be youths who are ever or in fact following what is trending. Which drama is the most happening? Who has returned milling me where? Who? If that is all the information, we identify to be important, we are not heading anywhere as a nation. So the first thing, engage your reticular activating system on social media to focus on things that matter. Number 2, engage your reticular activating system on business opportunities. Be deliberate about identifying business opportunities. Do you know what the challenge is? Because our reticular activating system is not charged to identify business opportunities, we see no opportunities in Zambia. We only see the Chinese who come from very far. They come through in Zambia because their reticular activating system is set for business opportunities. They come here, they identify the opportunities. Whereas we see nothing. Things are bad. Everything is off. Why? It is because our reticular activating system is not engaged to see business opportunities. We see Rwandese coming in, because we may say, no, Chinese come with a lot of capital and whatnot. Rwandese come with a suitcase, nothing serious. They are refugees. They find their feet here, they identify business opportunities, and they make it so big. They become the ones that we see and, amplify and worship. When in the actual sense, us who are here, we see nothing. So the second charge that I have for you is that engage your reticular activating system to see business opportunities. Number 3, engage your reticular activating system to be focused. Do you know what? You can only achieve so much if you are focused. I would want to challenge my fellow youths here to say, if you are focused, there is so much more that you can do in one lifetime. And giving myself as an example in a way, at a young age, I made a decision that I wanted to be focused. I was very clear that I needed to rise to the top. I was born at a village, very poor background. I have risen from a village boy to one who's done exceptional things in this country. If you go to the bank and get your ATM card instantly with your names on it, just know that the company that supplies those machines, it is my company, a village boy. Because of being focused. From a very young age, I made a decision from the village. By the time I was 22, 23, those that know my story, I had truck and trailers at that young age from the village. And I can share with you that I have even done national impacting projects. When you go and get your driving license today, it is a fact. When you get your driving license today, the people that manufacture the driving licenses in this country and put all the security features that are there, just know that that is my company from the village. What am I putting across? In a similar way, if you stayed focused, if you engage your reticular activating system to be focused, there is so much more you can achieve. All these things that people see me with, the Range Rovers, the what, living, all those things are secondary. All those are byproducts of being focused. I challenge you, abash issues of alcohol, abash the issues of partying all the time, abash issues of pornography, abash issues of sex all the time. As youths, time will come for that. And I'll even close this with the young men. Young men, stay focused. Don't just be a young man chasing after girls. Don't chase after girls. Don't. You know what? Just make that money. Be focused. If you are focused, you become successful. Women chase after successful men. Yeah. I know you may be there texting, begging, and all these things that you do. Listen, The moment you are successful, you don't beg. I can tell you from experience, you don't beg. From experience, you don't beg. Young man, just be successful. You have to work hard. The only working hard you need to do is just to block. No, don't follow me. You are following me too much. That is the only role you play. What am I putting across? Be successful and everything will follow you. So the third point is engage your reticular activating system to see to it that you are focused. Then the final thing, engage your reticular activating system on solutions and not excuses. You see, we are channeled as a people to complain all the time. And this is the story for us Zambians generally. We complain all the time. We have everyone to blame for our circumstances. We have everyone to blame and think that they have put us in whichever position that we are in. I would wish to challenge us to say, engage, to be one who looks for solutions. And the moment you're a person who is ever looking for solutions, you'll be a person of value. And the moment you are a person of value, finances are a byproduct of a person with value. I would wish to challenge all of us that this country has been waiting for a time such as this, when you and I will be alive. It is the young people that have changed the narrative of this world. The world is what it is today because of young people. Mark Zuckerberg, 19 years old, founded Facebook, a young guy. Alexander the Great conquered the world at 23, a young guy. All through Africa, if you looked at the first presidents, they were young people. Mikombero, 24 years president. Muammar Gaddafi, 27 years old president. These were young people. In fact, a number of us are Christians here. In fact, even Christ himself died as a youth at 33. The world has been shaped by young people. In fact, if you looked at even the first cabinet, the vice president was 35 years old. He was a youth. The minister of foreign affairs was 33. Home affairs was 33. These were youths. The question I have for all of us who are here is, what are we doing as young people? If we became youths who focus on solutions and not just complaints, we'll become very powerful. We can make this nation great if we focused on that which matters. If we abashed drama, if we abashed things that don't add value. This nation has been waiting for us. But alas, it is very difficult. In fact, we need to change everything here. But it is very difficult for our leaders to even change the trajectory of this nation because our people can't even be pushed. They need dragging. You see, you push what is willing to move. Let us be youths who come to the playing field. You say, no, we want a fair playing field. But we are complaining that we want a fair playing field when we don't even show up at the field. Be the youth in charge. If you make a decision today, it is this one decision. Make a decision that you're in charge. The moment you are in charge, and I'll tell you for a fact, no matter how full a bus may be, the seat for the driver will always be empty. Be in charge. No one is given a bad life and no one is given a good life. You are just given life. It is up to you to make it good or bad. May God bless you all.